From the beginning, the aspect that I have found the most challenging about Opus Dei is the fact that regardless of the seriousness of the accusations brought forth against them, both in the media and by individuals seeking aid directly from criminal or civil authorities or the Catholic Church, the organization of Opus Dei has continued to escape any meaningful accountability for its actions and has continued to operate business as usual. Blame has been passed from the hands of the work and onto the heads of individuals and allegedly unaffiliated so-called corporate works, which are labyrinthian in structure and famously difficult to take to court. In my opinion, any organization which has been connected to the types of human rights issues that Opus Dei has should be more than willing to do the right thing and address the issues head-on, if for no other reason than to keep a clean public image. But in Opus Dei's case, it has instead invested significant effort into downplaying the seriousness of the situation, blanket denying any and all accusations, and behaving as if it is totally above reproach. For as long as I have been covering these issues, and as far as I had known, this strategy had not only worked well for the organization, but also served to strengthen its projected image of blamelessness and even victimhood. So, imagine my surprise when about a month ago, one of the anonymous members of the r/Opus Dei exposed community published a series of posts detailing a long and drawn-out legal battle between a former member of Opus Dei and the organization itself, in which, after many years and several appeals, she emerged victorious, and Opus Dei, unable to deflect blame, was forced to pay back several thousands of euros for labor law violations, in effect labor trafficking, and for the mental and physical damage that she incurred as a result of her exposure to the organization. And even more surprising was the fact that this case, heretofore referred to as Tissier v. Opus Dei, did not occur in some bygone murky past, which is where Opus Dei would have the public believe any and all issues have occurred, but well within our modern age, in 2016. Now, I'm not going to say that I am the best or the most competent or the most thorough citizen journalist that ever lived, but I do pride myself on doing my due diligence, pulling and following threads, and being as comprehensive and precise in my coverage as I possibly can. I have spent the last 4 years with my ears to the ground, researching, reading about, and listening to the historical aspects of Opus Dei's rise to infamy, and the experiences of those who have suffered as a result. Somehow, in all that time, I had never come across a single shred of coverage referring to this case, which should have, in my view, been referenced many times over, particularly following the 2021 AP article outlining the accusations of the 43 former members in South America, and the 2024 Financial Times article depicting a chillingly similar set of circumstances for former members residing in Ireland. And yet, the case is glaringly missing from those narratives. As it turns out, unless I had clairvoyantly known what I was looking for and were also semi-fluent in French, I never would have found out about this case or about Katherine Tissier. It is the opinion of those who have brought this situation back into the fore that Opus Dei had a vested interest in highlighting only the initial findings of the case, which favored the organization, once again whitewashing and downplaying the truth. The court case and any and all documents related to it are extremely difficult to find using normal web browsing techniques and lie buried under a veritable mountain of Opus Dei propaganda favoring the organization. Now, thanks to the efforts of former members, the narrative that Opus Dei has somehow never been charged for its misconduct can, at last, begin to be corrected. For those who are familiar with the tactics and behaviors Opus Dei encourages among its leadership, Tissier v. Opus Dei is yet another heartbreaking example of how the idealism and innocence of youth has been subverted and corrupted by a power-hungry organization with a vested interest in advancing its own monolithic rise to influence and control. But the case could also serve as a beacon of hope for those who have a desire and the means to pursue accountability and justice for the organization's crimes. Katherine Tissier was a young French girl who came into contact with Opus Dei via one of its infamous catering schools, at which point she was coerced into whistling at only age 14. Her life and potential were sacrificed on the altar of Opus Dei's agenda and, as an assistant numerary, became defined by long, exhausting 10 to 12-hour days, 7 days a week, for which she was not properly compensated, coerced vulnerability, a glaring lack of true consent, and spiritual stagnation. During her tenure, her mental health plummeted, and in an effort to do damage control, an Opus Dei-affiliated doctor prescribed her increasingly substantial doses of antidepressants and tranquilizers. Her physical health declined so badly that upon being allowed to visit her family, they refused to let her out of their sight and back into Opus Dei's clutches. She was declared unfit for work and that her life was in immediate danger. She required intensive care and a carefully administered drug withdrawal regime in order to wean her off of the pharmaceuticals and back into stable physical and mental health. As she attempted to regain her life, members of the organization allegedly came to her home on several occasions in an effort to remind her of her vocation. In 2001, she and 99 other domestic workers began their legal battle against Opus Dei in the French court system. The details of the court proceedings are nuanced, complex, and important. The case could serve as a legal precedent and guideline for future individuals or groups prepared to take Opus Dei to court again. Understanding the findings of the independent experts that were brought in to testify, as well as Katherine's testimony and the discoveries of the court, are vital. In order to make this information as readily available as possible, I have linked a variety of resources in the description of this episode, including an official English translation of the case, an FAQ document that was thoughtfully created by a former member of Opus Dei, which breaks down the particulars of Katherine's situation and the case itself, as well as the original Reddit posts that put this situation on my radar in the first place. It is a mountain of information, but I cannot stress enough how important it is. Please take the time to read through everything. It is often difficult, if not completely impossible, for former members to speak about the things that they endured while in Opus Dei. And while there are a variety of valid reasons for this, the largest is simply a desire to avoid re-victimization at the hands of the organization's leadership and those who carry water for the organization. The control that Opus Dei continues to wield in people's personal and professional lives cannot be overstated. I hope that this video will be a resource and a launch point for anyone interested in learning more about what is, in my view, one of the most compelling legal actions ever taken against Opus Dei.